Today's session is by Dr. Mamatha Shekhar, and the topic is Nourish to Flourish. And I'll just read the details that she has sent me so that I don't make any mistake. Dr. Mamatha Shekhar is passionate about educating the communities on the power of nutrition, traditional wisdom, and chemical-free lifestyle. She leads the Mahadeva Initiative, a movement rooted in her family's legacy of service and agriculture, which currently runs three impactful programs. The first program is Recognition of Lady Farmers. Second is Support Indian Cottage Industries. And the third one is Education and Community Engagement. All this work continues the mission of her late father, Dr. M. Mahadevappa, a Padma Shri and a Padma Bhushan awardee for his contribution in the field of agriculture and the Indian farming. Inspired by his life's work, Mamatha and her family have committed to uplifting rural women and small scale producers. In addition to her entrepreneurial and health advocacy work, Mamatha has an accomplished scientific background. She came to US to pursue her PhD in molecular genetics and has since built a career spanning over 35 years in precision medicine. Her contribution includes more than 25 peer-reviewed publications, book chapters, and patents. Her passion for genetics and big data technologies continues to drive her research and consulting work, where she develops innovative discovery and analytical platforms at the intersection of biology and big data technology. Welcome, Mamatha, for Sri Yoga platform. And again, please continue if you want to add some more things about yourself. And I just want to mention that just recently, Mamatha was on the Sri Yoga, sponsored by, arranged by Geeta Dharmadikari, Kailash Mansarovar Parikrama, and she was in the June 2nd group, and she and her husband successfully completed the parikrama. So congratulations, and it's a great achievement. So both of you, wonderful. And with that, go ahead, Mamatha, so again, everyone, if you have any questions, you can put them in chat, or later on we'll have time for question answers. Okay. Thank you, Mamatha. Go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. And I would like to thank Shrikant Sabnis Kaka for this opportunity. I'm really grateful because I'm so passionate about um, sharing my knowledge about nutrition, which has been playing a big role in many of the symptoms that we see today. And also to Geeta for introducing me to Sri Yoga, and thank you for sponsoring our Kailas trip. It was a wonderful experience, and I truly feel blessed to have gone there. With that, I will share my screen and jump to my presentation. If it is okay, please send your questions, and I will try to answer them at the end. Unless there is a burning question, I can answer it in the middle of the presentation. Once again, I would like to thank Sri Yoga for this opportunity. Um, I think Kaka has told more than enough about me, so I will skip telling any more about myself. So, as Dr. Kaka already said, I'm a scientist by training, by heart also. I think more like a scientist. I'm a social volunteer and a health enthusiast for the last 5 years. And generally, in the last 30 years, I've tried to adapt a healthy eating. And the philosophies that I believe in is you are what you eat, and food as medicine and preventative medicine. So this is what I'll be sharing uh, my knowledge about. And just a disclaimer, I'm not a trained or certified nutritionist or a dietitian or a clinician. So whatever I say, please take it with a pinch of salt and consult your physician before you make any changes. Kaka already said my the inspiration for me is my dad who won Padma Shri in 2005 and Padma Bhushan in 2014. In 2005, he won it for his academic achievements in the field of agriculture, and in 2014 he earned it for helping the farmers. And my mother, who is here in the bottom picture, is also uh, responsible for my inspiration. So the name Madev comes from, like, my grandmother used to call Mahadeva as Madeva. And Ma Dev, if you split it into two words, it stands for Ma as in Amma and Dev as in uh, Lord or Goddess. So uh, my parents are my inspiration for me. And my family, this is my brother who also joined the Kailas Parikrama. Uh, he and my husband and everyone helps out a lot in this activity. So I just wanted to say that I'm not alone. I'm not doing this alone. So after my father expired in the year 2021, we established a trust in India. And since then, because we are based in US, we have been trying to do what little we can. So since 2022, for the last 3 years, we have been giving out Lady Farmer Awards. We have given around 40 awards in Karnataka and Bihar, and in 2026, we are planning to expand it to other states. And our goal is to at least give one small scale Lady Farmer Award in each state of India. And I'm like working slowly on it, establishing contacts. My father headed ASRB, which is a central government organization or institute in India, and he had done so much good, which is what is making it easy for me to reach out. And all I have to say is I'm Hadepa's daughter, and people come forward to help me. So that has made it really easy for me. So Mahadev.com is also it's an initiative run under the Seva Trust umbrella. Though it's a business, I run it with the heart of non-profit. The goal is to provide healthy, chemical-free, pure, and fresh foods. When I say fresh foods, I mean airlifting it from India and not really getting it through sea when the food is already 4 months to 1 year old, and then getting those done in the cottage industries, which are in remote villages in India. And those cottage industries don't usually have export license, FDA certification, things like that. And I work with them. If they're passionate and if I believe they're authentic and genuine, I work with them to get all the licenses, empower them to export to US. And then I also look for cottage industries that are mostly powered by women. For example, one of my flagship product is Bull Ribbon Oils, and there, out of the 55 employees, around 50 or 51 of them are women. And the saffron industry is also powered by women. It's the women who are, taking out all the stamens. So, and millet snacks are made in a factory where mostly women are employed. And so that's, I partner with someone who has the same mission as us, and then get the healthy snacks from them. And these are some pictures from the awards. In 2023, we gave out 2 awards. In 2024, we gave out 7 awards. And in 2025, we gave out 34 awards. And of course, I'm hoping, and of course, it's not just our trust, but also Mahadev patrons who believe in the mission contributed extensively for these awards. I maintain an Excel spreadsheet as to who all contributed and then give it to the farmers. So I would like to now go into my health journey, which is another inspiration for me to take this up, because business is not in my genes. That's the last thing that I would have done. But I saw an opportunity to serve the community, hence I started this business. So for 10 or more years, I was almost not using any oil. And then I had developed a condition called melasma on my nose. This is my nose. After my father passed away, along with my menopause and stress of, he passed away due to liver cancer, being in the hospital with him and seeing him suffer, all induced stress. Um, I developed very severe melasma, so severe that it was my nose and my cheeks were completely like dark brown or black. Then I saw a protocol by Dr. Kader, who, who said to drink 1 spoon of bull driven oil on empty stomach. And I didn't know what bull driven oil was. So when I went to India in 2022, end of 2022, I visited cottage industries that make this bull driven oil, and learned that it's just a ancient way of extracting oils of India, where they use the bulls. Of course, from the time I was born, I never. I think um, it had what was extinct. It was almost extinct. It was not there. So I'd never seen it before, but I got the basic funda behind it. So in 2023, after I started drinking this 1 spoon of bull riven oil, it the skin cleared up significantly. And the dermatologists in US had recommended either chemical peels or laser therapy, and somehow I didn't feel like doing that. And I had a lot of dry skin. This is my elbow patch right back then. Now you can see it's almost gone. And now, being a scientist, I was very curious to know what is in this oil that's making um, the melasma reduce so much. So I started reading about it, and this bull driven oils are from seed oils, and we clearly know that seed oils have a very bad reputation, which is all completely wrong. It's not the seed oils that are bad, but it's the processing that is bad. So today's talk is all about the processed food. I guess I have to press it, um, the next one. And just for your information, I have Vata and Pitta body, and the response of you to different food depends on the prakriti of your body. And that was the other attraction to me, because I come from the field of precision medicine, my academic field. And in precision medicine, um, now we are trying to make the medicine individualized, but to learn that Ayurveda was so much more individualistic than the allopathy was an awakening for me. Okay. So today, I think most of you will agree, if not everyone, that there is a more of all these symptoms in the community, right? Be it the inflammation or the mental diseases or the gut health, whatever, skin diseases, thyroidism. So I feel that most of them are because of our gut health. And nowadays you will see a lot more publications in uh, from the modern science that says the gut is connected to brain, the gut is connected to um, different organs like kidney, lung, heart. uh, okay, I will get to what is precision medicine. um, um, so there is a lot of it is because of the gut health. And the gut, that is because, if you think of the way the animals have evolved, the first animals to, not even animals, the first organisms to evolve on earth were the microorganisms. And all the other animals that came after that were somewhat very dependent on this microorganisms, on this bacteria and other microorganisms. So every other animal, or the way the ecosystem is, or the way world has evolved, is so much dependent on uh, the microorganisms. Okay, there was a question what precision medicine is. Precision medicine is, where you take the molecular um, uh, molecular profile of a human being, such as the gene, the DNA in your thing, or it may be the proteins, or it may be the other metabolites in your body, and depending on that, and I was more on the genomic medicine, which is far more advanced. So we take the DNA from a person and look at the genes and look at the mutations present in the gene, and based on that we recommend either a cancer therapy that works. These days there are what is called as targeted therapies, which targets those tissues where the gene is mutated, or a particular genotype of a human being, of the genotype is different among every person. We do that for cancer. That's the therapeutic area where it is most advanced. They will take out your DNA, they will sequence it, they will find out which gene is mutated, what is the mutation, and then accordingly prescribe a medication for your cancer. And the other place where it is highly utilized, the precision medicine, is in um, prescribing a dose for you. For example, the warfarin, based on the mutations you have, they will say, oh, whether you should take a high dose or a medium dose or a low dose. But the field is still at its infancy, so it's not widely applicable in the field of medicine. There is very limited area where it is applied. Uh, but in the coming days, in the future, it will keep improving from the discoveries. I hope I answered that question. Um, so it's the metabolites. So the metabolites produced by the gut microbiome, we are so dependent on it. Our organs functions are so dependent on it. If our gut microbiome changes, the metabolites produced changes, and then we will see all kinds of health symptoms. So it's very important to maintain a healthy microbiome or gut bacteria. It is extremely important, and in the modern science they're just realizing it now, but our ancient wisdom knew about this and has always, sorry, still again stuck. Our ancient wisdom knew about it, and okay, I'll have to stop share and go back again. Sorry about that. I think I will just do the, not the presentation, I will just share my screen.
Yeah, so maybe don't go into slide share. Sorry,
Yeah,
in
into
the
slideshow. Yeah, I learned to
slide share is fine. Just don't go into slideshow.
slideshow. Yeah. I hope it is still, you can see the slides well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So the problem is the modern diet, right? The modern diet is rich in calories. We are getting all the carbohydrates, sugar, salt. Uh, Hence, it's very unhealthy because it only has those. And it's refined. When it is refined, it is stripped of all the micronutrients and fiber that is very much required for the functions of the organs. And then it's over processed. When it's over processed, it is linked to all the symptoms that we generally see in the community. So what I think is in the power of eating whole or unrefined unprocessed foods. And there is a famous saying by Aristotle, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So when you eat whole, as it exists in nature, it has much better attributes than if you break up everything. You can say, oh, I'm taking a spoon of fiber in the morning as soon as I wake up. it's not going to work that easily, because it's the whole that works as a whole and not as a thing. So, when you feel strong, when you eat good food, you feel strong. And when you feel strong, you think very clearly, right? We definitely see that when we go to Kailas Parikrama. When we don't feel strong, we have all the bad thoughts and bad actions. So, what are micronutrients and what are macronutrients, right? Macronutrients are carbohydrates, as I've said here, and proteins and fats. These are the three macronutrients which are present in large quantities in our body. If you look at it, protein and lipids are 16% of our body, and 1% of our body is carbohydrate. But if we are healthy, if we have a healthy body, and the micronutrients are vitamins, minerals, and other phytochemicals and phytonutrients. These are required in very, very small amount. We don't need a large amount of that. So what happens when the food is processed? The micronutrients are destroyed, and uh, then that will upset our body. So there is a process called as ultra cold press among oils, which retains all the micronutrients. Anything that is slowly processed, like the way our grandparents did, right? Slowly move the grinder with the stone grinder and things like that without it getting hot. That's what preserves the nutrients. So today, what I'm going to do is maybe touch the point of having a complete plate. What do I mean by complete plate? Now the NIH recommends that which keeps changing every decade or so. 50% of it should be vegetables, 25% of it is should be whole grain, which I'm happy they have said whole before that word was missing. And 25% of it should be healthy protein. Before it was only protein. Now they have added the word healthy protein because there are proteins that are not healthy for you. So, what my talk will cover, partly, because it's impossible to cover everything in the 1 hour, it will partly cover how to achieve this nourishing complete plate. Um, so the topics that I'm going to touch are grains and flour, because, as I said, 25% of it is grains, and that's where we are mostly making the mistake. So that I'll cover the grains and flours and the oils. I was under the impression for 10, 15 years that oils are bad for me, uh, bad for us, but I was wrong and correct at both at the same time, because I was wrong because oils are good for the body. I was correct because I had access. I only knew about refined oils, and taking refined oils is really bad for health. And then I'm also going to touch a little bit on salt and the sweetness and the fruits and vegetables. Um, so now the grains, flour, etc. Right? When we eat whole grains, which is not processed at all, it takes our body some time to digest, right? And just doesn't let the sugar level spike up in the blood, which is bad for health. When the sugar level spikes up, that's when the organs get damaged. So the whole grains, the shelf life is around 5 to 7 years. And when we break them up to make rava, right, the shelf life is only few months. If you keep it longer than few months, they get oxidized and all the micronutrients are lost. And what you're eating after that is just the carbohydrates or just the macronutrients. And if you further make them finer into flour, the shelf life is only 2 weeks. So the flour that we get in Indian stores is usually minimum of 3 to 4 months old. And when they get it by sea, they get like tons of it because they cannot get a little quantity in the sea shipment. And so sometimes we are eating more than a year old flour, but the shelf life is only weeks. That's why our grandparents used to Uh, then we are just eating the carbohydrates and not the micronutrients present in it. So that's why grandparents, our ancestors would grind them every 2 hours and keep them in the steel container, airtight steel containers or aluminum containers, so that it doesn't get oxidized. The oxidization is caused by air and light. So if we can prevent the air and light getting into it, at least the oxidization slows down. And then of course there are more uh, processed things like flakes or poha and noodles, and depending on how the noodles are processed, it can have a shorter shelf life or a longer shelf life. uh, so what I recommend is for you to at least have one whole grain meal a day. Make something like khichdi or bisibele bath or puliogram from Karnataka. So those dishes are more familiar to me. At least one meal, and not dosa in the morning and chapatis in the evening, where uh, both of them are already processed and it will spike up your grains. It spike up your sugar levels. So what, as you all might know, the whole grain has a lot of fiber in it. And mostly in US, we get polished millet. Millets are becoming popular, and I'll get into that also. The processed millet also has reduced lignin, and lignin are very important for good functioning of our body. So also when it is whole, it has low GI, that is glycemic index, um, because of fiber present, the presence of the fiber in the whole grains. So now let us look at which grains are best, right? Um, we are almost stuck with eating rice, wheat, and maybe these days oats. But there are also something called as millets that our ancestors would eat. And let us look at them, the, the details of those, and see which might be the best for us to include in our diet. Uh, am I being heard?
Yes.
Are there any questions? Because I cannot see the chat now. So if there are any questions so far, I can answer them before I move on to this.
So one question I had was in your diet, you don't have any fruit.
Yeah, so the it comes under the category of vegetables, fruits and vegetables. Uh,
Now you showed the plate that
yeah,
you
plate
had
with the, yeah,
didn't
that
have
was
any
some.
fruit.
I didn't make the.
Okay.
I couldn't find, but in my other slide, for example, this slide here has fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
But in that, I couldn't find a better image. Sorry. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, my question is, if you refrigerate the flowers, do they have longer shelf life?
Yes. So there is a law in science which says every increase in temperature by 10 degrees
Mm-hmm.
doubles the oxidization rate. And
Right.
the reverse is true. So every 10-degree reduction in
Lower, yeah.
temperature. So when we keep in the refrigerator, it's at 4 degrees. The room temperature is usually around 24 degrees. So you can increase the shelf life of the uh, flour. So instead of 2 weeks, maybe you can make it 4 weeks or 5 weeks. But people can argue that refrigeration is not good, but we can do what is practical and what is best for us.
Thank you.
Any other question?
I have one question. So, like nowadays, they are saying that kanji, which is keeping cooked rice overnight, and
Yeah.
so
So that
how
was
about
also
that?
part of my presentation. If you
Sure,
can just wait for a few slides.
sure, sure.
Any other questions?
Yeah, Mamta, do you distinguish between brown rice, white rice, and there's another in the market called diabetic rice, but that's usually white rice?
Yeah, I haven't studied that much because anything white, I feel it's processed. But I could be wrong there because I haven't studied it. So
Is quinoa better than brown rice?
I think let me show you the stats and then you can decide. Quinoa is
Okay.
definitely better in one way because it's a complete protein. What I forgot to mention in the slide, in this slide, now that I can go back and forth easily, in this slide, what I forgot to mention is in protein, there is something called as essential amino acids. Amino acids is what makes up the protein. There are 9 of them, and it's very important for you to consume those 9 amino acids because the body cannot make them. They're called essential because the body cannot make them. The same way, in fats, there are 2 essential fatty acids. They're called omega 3 and omega 6, which body cannot make. So you have to take it externally. And that's where I'm getting to because when I stopped taking oils, my body lacked omega 3 and omega 6, which caused a lot of health problems. And I'll get into that also. Um, so quinoa is a complete protein, meaning it has all the 9 essential amino acids that body requires. And the other food that has all the essential amino acids are is egg. But I'm vegetarian and trying to be vegan. So I sometimes I'm biased towards vegetarian meal. I shouldn't be, but that's who I am. Sorry about that. Any other question? Yeah, the vacuum packed flour have longer shelf life because they have removed the air from it. And when the air is removed, then the oxygen is not there, which causes the oxidation. Yes, the vacuum packed food are good, but at the same time, they're packed in plastic. So, yeah, that's where the technology is today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Then what I've tried to do is I don't want to bias anybody. So I'm providing the numbers here, the stats here. Then you can make the decision what is good for you because each person is different. So, I cannot be recommending, oh, do this for everybody because this is all about precision, right? So I've given the numbers of the grains that are rich in fiber, minerals, and vitamins. Before our ancestors would have a very balanced diet. But now that we have moved out of our region, we eat, if somebody says this is good, Mediterranean food is good, we add that. Somebody says avocado oil is good, we add that without really understanding how good is it for the diet that I have. Uh, so I'm going to give you a general idea, and you will have to make some effort from yourself because no one is going to go to that individual level of making a recommendation or suggestion, including nutritionists or doctors. So you'll have to study a little bit yourself. They can all guide you, but they cannot give you the exact thing. So I have tried to focus on millets here because they're the ones that we have forgotten mostly, right? We eat we were eating only refined wheat, and nowadays everyone is getting the concept of whole wheat and brown rice. And recently they're also doing oats. uh, so I'm going to just give the numbers, and for some of them I am highlighted in green, which is the richest source of calcium or iron and phosphorus and the vitamins. As you can see, these millets have a better nutrition profile than others. And one, the fiber is high. So when the fiber is high, it's better for your body. And the ones that are italicized are positive millets. I don't know if you've heard of Dr. Kader. He refers to them as positive millets because they have high fiber and low carbohydrates. So he refers to them as positive millets. So this is the nutrition profile, and this will be posted by Kaka. on YouTube, so you can study it in little detail. And this is the glycemic index and load, glycemic load. These are important to control the sugar in our blood. And you can see here, millets tend to have lower glycemic index and load compared to the other grains. So it's really good to include them in your diet. Um, and the benefits, the organs that benefits from each of this millet, because of the unique nutrition profile and the way the organs have developed, there are different nutrients that help in the organ functioning. Just like the yoga poses, we do different yoga poses and it helps different organs. The same way, the different foods we eat helps different organs. So if you look at the whole wheat and brown rice and oats, they're mostly helping with digestive system, heart, brain, and blood sugar, right? But if you look at the millets, they're helping with the nervous system, weight management, um, cancer prevention, in with the immune system. One says liver, so, and one says thyroid. So if you mix it up with different grains, you are helping different organs get what is required for their efficient functioning. And probably you have heard a lot about anti-nutrients in millet. Oh, millets are not good for you, you shouldn't be eating them every day. And I have listed out the anti-nutrients also. Even rice has anti-nutrients. We are supposed to soak rice at least for a few hours before eating them. But we don't do that. We have really let go of food science. We just cook because it cooks easily. So if you process the food properly, you know, usually the traditional preparation methods like soaking, sprouting, and fermentation helped reduce the anti-nutrients. So there was a reason why our ancestors did that. Our ancestors didn't do something because they had all the time in the world, or because uh, they didn't understand. Their gurus who had the insights told them what to do, and they did not question much. They tried to follow, and they did that. So I have listed the anti-nutrients, and oats are one of the ones. Oats in nutrition profile can compare to millets, but the drawback of oats is that, especially the modern varieties of oats, because oats has been bred a lot. I have an agriculture degree, undergraduate degree, so I know a little bit about the varieties and things. Um, any crop that has been highly manipulated by humans, like oats is one of them, they just bred it for high yielding, high yielding, high fodder to give to the animals so they can make more profit. But they did not really look at the nutrition profile, but which was not a bad thing, given that India was, so in India at least, not if not in America, in India, the Green Revolution was trying to make us self-sufficient in food, because India used to import a lot of food, and if we didn't get the food from outside, Indians would have poverty. And we have, historically, we know there have been so many induced famines in India, right? So the Green Revolution was very important for India, and our scientists did the right thing where they focused on the yield and got us to be self-sufficient in food production, so India can be proud. But now that we have achieved the yields that we wanted, now we need to focus on the quality. So the only disadvantage of oats is the high phytic acid. So if you soak them and ferment the oats, that it can also be a good grain type to use. Okay. Any questions up to this point before I move to the next topic? I did see some chat questions. More questions. Okay. Do you recommend just millet only diet? Um, if you cook it the right way and eat it the right way, you can only do millet only diet, but you always have to watch out how your body responds. or can we include other whole grains too? I personally include other whole grains. I include brown rice. Um, um, for my family, I also include whole wheat, but but the whole wheat, the variety matters a lot. The modern wheat varieties are causing a lot of gluten problem because they have changed the structure of the gluten in the modern wheat variety to make the bread and chapatis softer. They have bread varieties that are where the gluten is changed, and the word gluten comes from the word glue. Glue, we know glue is something very hard to digest because of its chewy nature, and so gluten is can also be very hard to digest. And when it's hard to digest, our colon tries very hard. There is something called as microvilli in the colon. It tries very hard to digest the food, and when it's overactivated, right, then after few years it will have the fatigue. It will, the microvilli will not be as efficient. That's why you're seeing gluten allergy. So which wheat you eat is very important. If possible, go for the ancient wheat varieties. When you soak lentils, do you trash the water? Yes, I do trash the water because they contain an arthritic component, and uh, the arthritis is also on the rise because we don't know how to cook lentils properly. Okay, having
Sorry, on the same question, how do we reduce the phytic acid that you mentioned about for the oats?
yeah, the soaking helps,
Just soaking.
and fermenting helps.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Um, so you can still see my screen, right?
Yes, right.
Yes,
Yeah.
we can see.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, the gut health. So now I'm going to move to my favorite topic of, gut health and fermentation, and there was also a question about that. So you have been hearing a lot about prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics, and probably confused by what all those mean, right? So here I've tried to explain it like one is a fuel. You need a fuel to power something. And once you have the fuel, then you need something to manufacture it. So that is the bacteria that manufactures it. That is the probiotic. And the fuel is called the prebiotic. And the postbiotic are the goods that are produced by the bacteria. Bacteria, the other analogy that I can uh, give for that is it's a factory. Bacteria are the factories. Using the fuel that you provide them, they're making the goods. The goods are the postbiotics. That's the fermented foods. So, with this basic funda, I will go into more details of uh, what is um, how we can improve gut health. So, as I said already, introduce millets in diet. It is a good prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic too because it has very high fiber, so that makes it a good fuel or a prebiotic. It has low glycemic index and glycemic load, as I showed in the table, and it's rich in vitamins and minerals. And another important thing is that it is a dry crop. For dry crops cannot be grown inorganically because look at it as a you have a dry skin. When you have dry skin, if you add salt, so the inorganic fertilizers are nothing but salt, right? That contains sodium, potassium, and phosphorus. So what happens when you add a salt to the dry skin, right? It's really bad. So the same thing, if you try to add inorganic fertilizers to the dry land where the millets are grown, the crops are going to die. So if you are consuming millets, it also makes us green because we are not consuming a wet crop. And so that makes it very sustainable for the whole world if you're into, being eco-friendly. But it does require proper cooking, and I'll go into the details of it little later. Uh, so I am a huge proponent of variety. Don't eat just one grain or one vegetable or one fruit. The God has created the variety for a reason, right? There is not one person who is good in development, marketing, sales, everything. So each person is good in a different area. So the same way, the foods are also good in different things. So try to add as much variety as possible. Um, so not only introduce millet, but also introduce fermented food in the diet. Again, this goes back to in all the cultures, all the cuisines have fermented food, and I have listed them here. And even India had fermented food. We used to make, I think one person asked about this. We used to keep the cooked rice, and those days was no processing. So they all used whole grains. They would keep fermented leftover rice at least once a week. They would do that and let it eat it the next morning, right? Because it's a good source of probiotics and also postbiotic, because it's fermented and all the goods, the metabolites are available for you. And if possible, try to eat a variety of fermented food, because nowadays we're eating so much of different food. So it's important to have a variety there too. So I have listed the two common Indian fermented foods that I know. There may be more. And if you know, please write to me, because I always like to update myself. There is the whole grain amli, which I just explained. And there is also kanji. I think it's more in the North India, where they take the vegetables and put mustard and keep it in the sun for 3-4 days and then drink it as a drink. I have it every day. I have both amli and kanji every day, and I really feel good. Um, there's also another natural source. Okay, my no, I'm not on a slideshow. It showed up. I wanted to ask you, can you guess which one it is? But I'm already showing on the slides. It's the saliva. Saliva is a natural probiotic source for us, but not if we are using chemical pastes or anything chemical like mouthwash, things like that, because those chemicals will cause dysbiosis in our bacteria, imbalance in our bacteria. So that will make the bad bacteria grow, and it will make the good bacteria die. Once we have that imbalance in our saliva, then it becomes a bad source for us. So what I wanted to highlight is our ancestors used to use a activated charcoal tooth powder. And even in modern science, they use activated charcoal to remove the toxins, right? And so this is where, the ancient wisdom and the modern science both say it's good. So Mahadev has the tooth powder that is made from activated charcoal, and it also has many herbs which are listed below, where you brush with it in the night, right? And the instructions are at the back of the pack. um, and you sleep, and you have good bacteria growing. And next morning when you wake up, without brushing, you drink warm water, rinse your mouth and swallow it. And that is such a great source of probiotic, all the bacteria, right? It's your own bacteria that's going in. And once you start using this tooth powder for a week, it does take some time to getting used to it, because it's not like chemical paste where peppermint flavor is loaded into it and feels very pleasant. Um, but once you get used to it, you will not go back to chemical paste, because when you use chemical paste, there is still a little bit of sliminess when you wake up in the morning in your mouth. But when you use this, you will not hesitate to rinse with your mouth with water, gargle it, and then ingest it. Please try it. And we also have one for children. It's called Baladant Manjan, where it's the same ingredients, but we have added licorice. So if you want to get started, you can go with Baladant Manjan. Licorice is sweet in taste, so it does give some sweeter taste. So here the tooth powder not only acts as a probiotic, but it also helps prevent cavities and other things. Okay, So I'm going to move away from fermented foods to oils. I don't know. I have only 5 minutes. Um, so is it okay if I move ahead, or are there any questions?
So the session is till 9:30. Okay.
Oh, oh, wonderful.
But I need to leave by 9:30. But you can continue. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, if there are questions, I'll continue, but I can end my presentation in 30 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
Any questions?
Yeah, where
So,
do you get the charcoal toothpaste? The,
yeah. So it's on my website. I guess I did not put it here.
no.
My website is www.maadhev.com. I can send the link to Kaka.
Yeah.
And
We'll include in the YouTube.
Thank you. Thank you.
any other questions on the fermented food, probiotics, prebiotics, and postbiotics?
Yes. So, when should we consume the kanji?
When you're taking it as a medicine, anything when you want to take it as a medicine to heal your body, it's better to take it in empty stomach.
And can we drink it like both the times before the lunch and after and before the dinner,
Yeah,
or just one time?
I don't see any harm.
Okay.
Okay, but you also have to observe your body and see how you react.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Thank you.
because even good things can be poisonous when consumed in excess.
Yes.
So,
Thank you.
there are so many things that you can do, good things that you can do. So I feel I don't have enough time in the day to eat all the good things or drink all the good things. Geeta and we discovered this oolong tea in China. It's a herbal tea, and I have been having it for the last 2 weeks, and my metabolite has like gone up like crazy. But when something does not work the way it's supposed to work, first doubt the processing, first doubt that there might be adulteration, instead of first saying that ancient wisdom is wrong. So what we get today, the food is so adulterated. I feel like you don't really see the benefits of it. Maybe some other time I can have a session on how to do a daily routine with natural things without using any chemicals in your body. But it's too much to cover in one session. Any other questions? Okay. If not, I'll go on to the topic of ghee, which is a nice conduit to go from fermented to oils. So the ghee, if you don't take Bologna A2 ghee, which means it's curdled, that's the only way the Indians knew how to make ghee, right? You curdle it and then you make churn it and make the ghee and then boil it, of course. But in Western world, that's not how it is made. I know most Indians, at least in the Bay Area, to whom I talk a lot, to my patrons. I have more than 1,000 patrons, so um, I can vouch for the numbers. Most people go to Costco. They bring the what is that ghee name? I forgot. From England, and
Kirkland.
Not Kirkland. There's
Is
one
that Kerrygold or something?
Kerrygold. Yeah, Kerrygold.
Right.
Yeah, Kerrygold. So they bring the Kerrygold butter, and it has a nice aroma and flavor. Of course, all the Western products have nice aroma and flavor. They make the ghee and they say, "Oh, I make it at home," but that butter is not cultured. So when though there are absolutely like evidences, there are no evidences to say this is exactly what it's happening. But if you understand the basics, fundamentals of fermentation and the metabolites it produces, it feels more like a common sense, right? And all that arguments that we are hearing about ghee, it increases the cholesterol, it increases that. Um, that is not true at all. If you use really the ghee, the way it is made, how our ancestor taught us, it helps in weight management. It reduces the cholesterol. It has so many therapeutic things. I can't say enough. I just got Panchakarma done in India in the 2 weeks ago, and they used ghee for my eyes. They used ghee for so many things, and my vision has increased. My hearing has become more sharp. Everything is so much sharper. So ghee is a real, and the ghee, the Ayurveda, the first thing they say is, if you have any hormonal imbalance or anything, what our ancestors used to do is drink a cup of milk with the spoon of ghee in the night before sleeping. They ask you to do that because ghee really is supposed to bring your hormones um, into balance. So a lot of symptoms in Ayurveda recommends ghee, and they don't recommend the non-Bologna ghee because they didn't know that it didn't exist, so they only referred to ghee. But please have Bologna ghee. If you cannot have Bologna ghee, then see if you can find a replacement for it. So it has to be fermented. That's when the metabolites are released. And now going to the oils, because I had this. I was mistaken that oils are bad for health, right? But
Ma'am, what about ghee and its problems for cardiac patients?
so first of all, the modern science had it wrong. Um, they thought the fats are the ones that make the cholesterol. It's not the fats; it's the carbohydrates that make the fat. Because cholesterol is a fat, they thought the fat went and sat there, and the cholesterol increased, right? But um, it's the excess carbohydrates that gets converted into fats in the body. I don't know if you observed in my first slide. I forgot to mention it again. um, I said the carbohydrates become fats here in the slide. So it is the excess carbohydrate that gets as cholesterol in your body, and not the fat itself. In fact, a good ghee will reduce your cholesterol level. That's how you can tell it's a good ghee too, because many of my clients buy the ghee from me and they go and say, oh, my cholesterol has reduced after I started taking your the ghee you sell. And I'm not telling that the ghee that I sell is the only one. There are many A2 ghee, but make sure that it's from an authentic source. There are many A2 Bologna ghee.
So,
So the oil, yes, go ahead.
go. Uh, I was going to ask you, like, what about that unsalted ghee, this butter you get it and you make ghee from that?
Yeah, you have to see if the butter has been fermented. If
Okay.
butter is not fermented, it's not good for you.
And then that desi ghee, you get it in Costco, ready-made ghee. Is that good? I never buy.
I don't think so.
Okay, but I never buy that. I usually buy unsalted butter and that Kerrygold butter, and then I will make ghee.
Yeah, that's definitely not Bologna butter,
Okay.
not fermented.
So where do
Actually,
you get that?
folks, I just put whatever that perplexity AI said. What Mamta was telling is perfectly true. Like, I mean, it clearly says you can read it on the chat. So probably that would answer most of your questions.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad someone is checking, and because I don't like to say wrong statements, and if there is thank you so much for doing that. And
See,
this,
it increases good cholesterol and it reduces bad cholesterol. But he clearly says that it has to be bologna, I mean, the ghee that is made in the traditional method.
No. Okay. Thank you.
yeah. Actually, AI is a very good source because for most of the things, if not for 100% of the things, for most of the things, AI is pretty good because it collects data. And these days, it's also giving information on the bull-driven oils, Ghana oils, or Chekki oils. It also gives information on that, which is wonderful because before we would not get that information anywhere. So the oils, 50% of our body, 16% of our body is made of fat, and our brain has 60% fat, right? So whenever you reduce the fat, the first thing you will see, the oils or the good fat intake, you will see mental problems, Alzheimer's, dementia, other things. That's why I sometimes feel there is more of all these things, because we were not, the refined oils is the opposite. It will increase your dementia, it will increase your mental disorders. But you have to consume either cold pressed, or even better oils are ultra cold pressed oils. And these fats are also needed for hormone production, as I mentioned, and also for vitamin absorption. So our ancestors did the seasoning for a reason, because when you put the curry leaves in the seasoning, when you put other spices in the seasoning, the vitamins that are only soluble in fat are getting solubilized. So if you just put a dry tadka or dry, mm, s- um, eat them dry, your body is not going to absorb it because it needs fat to solubilize. And even turmeric, the Ayurveda doctors come to America and they see this turmeric latte or something, turmeric drink, and they mix it in water and give it. That turmeric you just eat and it just comes out without body absorbing anything. That's the reason we have turmeric in milk, because milk has fat. If you're using non-fat milk, it doesn't help. So there's so many things that fat helps with, and I feel stupid now that I thought oils were bad and did not have. But in a way, it's good because I was only going to use refined oils. So in fats, what is important is dynamic duo in a body, right? That's not just the presence of omega 6 and omega 3, but it's the ratio of omega 6 to omega 3 that matters the most. So the first thing that I ask you to do is go to a doctor and ask them to prescribe you a blood work for omega 3, omega 6, all the vitamins, all the minerals, because that's not what they do in the annual, right? And based on that, you come up with the diet plan for yourself, depending on what is more, what is less. And this omega 6 to omega 3 ratio should be at the most 4 is to 1. But what the Western diet has made is has increased it to 20 is to 1, or some doctors tell me that these days they're seeing 40 is to 1. That is the problem. And the culprit for this is the refined oils, because it's rich in omega 6. So it increases the thing. And among Indians, we have started using avocado oil and olive oil because of the Western marketing gimmicks. But look at the omega 3 in them. It's very, very low. Look at the flaxseed oil. It's 50.3%. So the omega 3 is rich in seed oils, but in a good seed oil. But the other source of omega 3 are all meats, right? It's only the flax seeds and the hemp seeds that have a lot of omega 3. But our grains and legumes and vegetables don't have omega 3. They're not made of, not substantial amount. So it is very important for us to include oils that are rich in omega 3, because we as vegetarians, or even non-vegetarians who are not eating like 2 meals of non-vegetarian every day, they're not going to get enough omega 3 and omega 6. But for Western diet who eat 3 meals of meat, the avocado oil and olive oil are good for them, but not for Indian vegetarians. Is there a question in the chat? Is any questions? And the same thing is true for omega 6. Omega 6 is rich in seed oils, but avocado oil and olive oil are not so rich. Oil has little bit, and olive oil has little bit, even less. But look at the seed oils, they have so much of omega 6. And if your body is deficient in omega 6 and omega 3, oh, I don't have that slide somewhere. I had that slide somewhere. Okay. Um, oh, here, omega deficiency. If you have deficiency of either omega 3 or omega skin, You get dry skin, psoriasis, eczema, eye problem, high cholesterol, reproductive disorders, weight management, kidney problems. You just name it. Everything, majority of them can be caused by omega deficiency. And the other question I get asked is, which is the best oil? I think I have answered that it's not olive and avocado oils if you're vegetarian or vegan. And the diet, the oil that goes with your grandmother's diet. So if you're using your grandmother's diet, just use the oil that your grandmother was using or what is grown in your region. For North Indians, they use mustard and sesame and other things. And South Indians use coconut and sesame and groundnut and safflower. But what is important is get your blood work done and adjust the oil accordingly. And oil rotation is very important. Even your grandmother or great grandmother did not use one oil, they changed as per the season. So in summer, they would use a cooling oil like coconut. I can't go into the details of all those. And in the winter, they would use a heating oil like mustard or sesame, right? I hope I answered that question. And which process is the best? It's ultra cold pressed oils that are the most healing oils, which are, as I said, are Chekke or Ghana or Ganugo oils. And the raw materials used are is extremely important. When you refine it, you can throw rotten seeds into it, and you will still get oil, but you will not get the flavor of the rotten seeds. But in this method, if you put even couple of seeds of rotten seeds, you will get the flavor of it because this method keeps the aroma and flavor. And this is done at 2 to 3 rpm. The cold pressed oils are done at higher rpm. When it's done at higher speed, then you lose the micronutrients. And using the wooden ghana is the best. If you use metal, it becomes heated. And there are many things that you can do with these oils. Body moisturizing, which is the biggest organ in our body. Skin is the biggest organ. We should be using skin to absorb nutrients into the body. Instead, what do? We take chemical moisturizers and put the chemical moisturizers along our body. Try using sesame oil or coconut oil as a moisturizer. And I have given the method of how to apply it during the shower itself in the last few seconds of the shower. And oil rotation is very important. I can't emphasize enough how nature nurtures us through diversity and variety, right? So if you're cooking oil, it should be rotated quarterly. If you're doing oil pulling, which I'll describe later, you should change the oil monthly. If you're drinking the oil on an empty stomach, you should change it every week. So what is oil drinking, right? Even in the modern Western science, mostly, is that an alarm for me? So even in the modern days, the Stephen Gundry, who was the doctor for Bill Clinton, he's recommending to drink a spoon of oil. So I drank a spoon full of oil on an empty stomach early in the morning. So the way I want to describe this is if you have a severe deficiency, right, you have to go to the hospital and take an IV, because if you don't take it immediately, then your body is in danger. If it's a borderline and if you want to improve the nutrient, you can take oils because it's a concentrated form of that nutrient. If your levels are high, then you just consume the seeds. That is good enough for you. But so I talked about oil rotation, oil drinking. There are many other daily Ayurvedic routines that you can do that will improve your health like crazy. One is putting few drops of oil in your nose. That does wonders for hair fall, eye health, oral health. Try it out. Just 2 drops of sesame oil or coconut oil. And novel oiling. Just before going to bed, apply oil on your belly button and massage it for a few minutes. You will see wonderful results because that is the point from where all the nutrients went to the baby from mother, right? So that's the point that can nourish all your body. So it's very important part of our body. And foot massage. If you go to bed with a foot massage, you will sleep well. And you know, every nerve is connected to the feet. That's why we do the namaskara to the feet, because feet is representing the whole body. That's why we do the namaskar. So if you massage, if you nourish your foot, then your whole body gets nourished overnight. And then there is ear oiling, which I haven't tried because it is little scary for me. And netra tarpana, some people do it at home, the Ayurveda specialists, but I haven't tried it myself. But when I got panchakarma done, I asked in the hospital to do it for me. And there are many other benefits of ultra cold pressed oils. For example, seed cycling. It reduces cholesterol. And if you mix it with your food, it reduces the sugar spikes. It reduces hair fall, skin conditions, nervous system, mental health. Coconut oil, it reduces your dementia and Alzheimer's. If you consume it when you have COVID, it can reduce your cough. And in weight management, oh, it helps in weight management like crazy for some people. uh, Gut health, because it cleanses the digestive system. If your digestive system is clogged, when you first consume oil as it is, it will clear out your colon. Okay, now let me quick. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions.
Yes.
So, is sesame oil better than ghee? Because it doesn't freeze in freeze because it has no cholesterol versus
Uh,
ghee has
no,
cholesterol.
no, nothing like that. As I said, variety is key. If you only keep consuming ghee and not anything else, you're not going to get the nutrients that sesame oil has. Sesame has some of the best nutrients. So please don't use just one thing, ghee.
No, no, I use various oils, but lately instead of putting ghee on my roti or millet bread, I put sesame oil. That I
Yeah,
thought
that is
is,
that is good, because what I do is I use ghee for tadka seasoning, because ghee is boiled, right? So when you heat it more, you are not losing any more nutrients. Then I keep the oil on the table, and I put oil on rotis, I put oil on chutney pudis, I put oil on my grains, my rice, everything. Because and salads, instead of using olive oil and avocado oil, use flaxseed oil, use niger oil, use sesame oil, use almond oil. They're all great for you. And each one of them gives a different each week rotate. Every week, this week I use sesame oil, next week I use flaxseed oil, next week I use niger oil, then I use almond oil. So just
yeah.
keep rotating.
Yeah, I do that. Thanks. Also, I my cataract reduced by putting castor oil in my eyes.
Yes, I have a
I
point
mean,
on the
and
side.
when I googled, it says that castor oil helps for your cataract, and I was surprised, and even my eye doctor was surprised with that.
Castor oil has wonderful things. If you put it around your eyes and sleep every night, I did not cover it. I should have covered it, but I've covered it under castor oil. Your black circles go away, and your
Mhm.
eyelashes grow. And if you put it on your eyebrows grow. It does wonders. You just have to click castor oil on YouTube. You'll get thousands of videos saying how good the castor oil is.
Yeah. And my third question, last one, is I heard you should eat food that is locally grown. I mean, for example, we live in eastern states, New York, whatever, and then we also want to eat mangoes, but mangoes are not grown here. They are grown in Hawaii, Mexico, India. So we should not eat the food that is not grown in our area. That's what you should eat, what is grown in what is possible to grow in where you live. That's what I heard. And I'm not sure if that is how true it is.
I mean, that statement is true, but all this was said when people were not traveling, did not uproot themselves from the country they were born to, exactly the opposite side of the world, right? Um, I debated a lot. I contemplated a lot about this topic, right? Our body is what our ancestors ate mostly, and the DNA is not going to change overnight. The DNA changes takes a long time to change. And we are governed by the genes and the DNA. So I feel it's okay to eat them, but not just eat only them. I have contemplated a lot, and if somebody wants to discuss with me this and have a different view, I'll be so happy to do that. I have thought months and months together about this topic. Then I thought, okay, our DNA doesn't change just because we have come to America. Our DNA doesn't become American DNA. We still have Indian DNA.
Yeah, thank you.
That's my view. Please take it with
The
me.
environment which is Rutusharya, the environment which you are in living right now. So your digestive system is dependent on that. So I think they have written like that.
Yeah. And I agree that you have to watch out for if you're living in temperate versus tropical, where the seasons are switched. Then you have to watch out for seasons. Seasons are very important. Yes, I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
Mamta,
I
you can give the example of honey also, right? Locally grown honey as cut.
Yeah, yes, very true. Locally grown. In case of honey, if you're using it for allergic purposes and things like that, it's the local honey that will help you with the allergies. But for other nutrients, it's okay to use honey for other nutrients. But if you're using it to fight allergies, then you have to use the local honey. That's one of the reason I don't bring honey from India. Is because I want people to use the local honey. But then again, it should be organically grown. It should be natural. All those things are sometimes not available in US. Then um, the forest honey is not available. So it depends on a lot of those things.
So, Mamatha, I'm going to interrupt you for just a minute because I have a meeting at 9:30. I'm going to leave, but I will make you host, and it's okay if the meeting continues. Okay?
Okay. So
Thank
in
you.
that case, what I will do, thank you so much again.
No, it was wonderful presentation, and really thank you for thinking and contemplating and providing your ideas to all of us. So thank you very much. Okay.
It's my pleasure, and I'm happy to do.
All right.
Okay, fine. So what I'll do is I'll quickly finish my presentation in the next 5 minutes, and those who have questions can stay back. But I know people are yawning and they're tired because a mental attention span is only 40-45 minutes. So sweeteners, this is very important. Nira that we get from palm trees is the most unprocessed sweetener that you can get. And it's the most eco-friendly because sugarcane is a wet crop. You need tons of water to cultivate sugarcane, and it is a 12 to 18 months crop, and it takes so long, whereas these palm trees, including coconut trees, are growing in the coastal regions in dry conditions, and they make this beautiful sap that they send it to the flowers of the coconut to make a coconut. Right, these flowers become coconut, and this is the sap that goes to the flowers to make a coconut. So it has all the nutrients. It's better than coconut water because coconut water doesn't contain the nutrients that makes the fiber, that makes the shell, that makes the pulp. Right? Coconut water is only what is retained after making all those parts. So Neera, are also called known as toddy in India, is the best sweetener. If you can use that liquid sweetener, use that. If you can, then there is Neera sugar. You can, but buy a brown sugar. Please don't use as white sugar again. And again, salt. The salt in olden days came from sea, came from different areas. Now we are using this iodized Morton salt, right? They don't have all any other minerals or nutrients in it. So please try to add um, different salts into your cooking. Uh, I think that's all I had. Oh, okay. Then after that, I'm going to jump to. There is a table here which shows all the vitamins and minerals present in different oils. I'm not going to go through that, but this table will be there. And I have listed all the different oils and their properties here that you can go through. What each one has, what is the enzyme or coenzyme or the vitamins and minerals that are present, in each of them. So you can go through that. I'm not going to go through that. And another word about spices. If you see a cheap spice, please be careful before buying them, because what people are doing these days, the industries are doing, is they're doing double dipping. So before oil is extracted from them, they will cost more. If they already extract the oil from it and then they sell you these dried spices, they're way cheaper. So if you find anything cheaper, don't think it's really cheap, but look at the quality of the spices. Does it really have the oil that it's supposed to have? Or is it extracted for some of the nutrients and hence they're giving you so cheap? So watch out for that. Okay, once again, my initiative is called Madev. So what I try to develop products without any of the refined ingredients, no maida, no sugar, no refined oils, no preservatives, no chemicals. I airlift them from India and try to have them in your house within 10 to 15 days of manufacturing. I think I'm only one of the ones who puts the manufacturing date on the package. Everyone puts just the expiry date, but I put the manufacturing date so you know exactly when it was done. And I like to thank you all for so patiently waiting for such a long time. It's a
Mhm.
long presentation and there's a lot of content in it, but thank you so much. I really enjoy sharing my knowledge. And here is my website, and I'm open to questions now.
Mamatha, I
Wow.
have two
Yeah.
questions.
Yes.
One I wrote about canola oil, and
Yes.
second about sugar, that agave syrup or date syrup, if you use it as a sugar substitute, how is it?
Yeah. So canola oil is nothing but mustard oil, right? Canola means Canadian oil with low oleic acid. That's what
Okay.
canola stands for, right? The canola oil is the rapeseed is nothing but a sibling of mustard.
Okay.
So the reason they say no mustard oil in America is because of the canola oil lobby. Because if we start selling mustard oil, and I do sell mustard oil, and FDA requires that we label it as for external use only. And all my North Indian clients buy it like crazy because they say this is the best mustard oil that we have seen, and they use it for cooking, but it's labeled as for external application only. So it's nothing but mustard oil, but with a low oleic acid.
Okay, because I use that all the time. So
Uh,
just wanted to make
most
sure.
likely, most likely canola oil is refined. So please see if it is refined or cold pressed.
Okay.
As far as I know, it's refined, and refined oils are really bad for.
Okay. And the agave syrup is from cactus, right?
Yes. So agave syrup is really good, but the way it is processed makes a big difference.
Okay.
Right? Even the sugarcane sugar that we eat, the sugarcane is not bad, and the sap that it comes out of is not bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the way it is processed is what makes it bad.
Okay.
So the agave syrup, I don't know how exactly it is processed,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, when you don't know, it's better to go with what you know.
Okay. Thank you. It was a
Yes.
nice presentation.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
Yeah.
have a question about vitamin E oil.
Yes.
What is it?
Vitamin E.
Mm-hmm.
So it's present in many of the oils, and it's very good for skin.
Nice presentation. I really liked it.
Oh, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Okay, do we have to take this good oils on an empty stomach? Yes, if you want to use it as a healing one, it's better to use it as a in on empty stomach. Yes, castor is very good. What is the use of vitamin E oil? It's really good for skin. It really smoothens your skin a lot. I'm a little bit confused with changing oils because I use peanut oil for frying. And for rice and podi, I use sesame oil. For something ghee, all in the same day. Yeah, which is also fine. You can use different oils, but just make sure you use different oils. And for frying, you can use the oil that you're used to. And for podi, you can use sesame oil. But if you want to use it as a medicine, and you know sesame oil is the one that's going to work for that symptom, then it's better to use the sesame oil for podi, for food, for everything. There is nothing wrong. Only when you want to use it as a medicine, then you should use just one oil. But using the same oil over months is not good. How does the sweetener affect blood sugar spike? So the GI index of the Nira is only 40. So you will never see another sweet with such low glycemic index. So the glycemic index is how the sugar spike is measured. But it is extremely sweet. And if you find it too sweet, you can mix it with chia seeds, you can mix it with sattu, you can um, mix it with chaat masala, little bit of salt. It tastes very good when you add chaat masala to it. Are you going to share these slides? Yes. Oh, thanks for all the good words. Yes, canola oil, the rapeseed is genetically modified to reduce the oleic acid, which Americans think is bad for health. Stevia, these days we are hearing a lot that stevia is not good for health. I think the way it is processed is not good because it's also from a plant. I don't have much insights into it. I'm rotating olive oil and avocado oil, coconut oil. Is that okay? If you're a vegetarian, Sridevi, I would recommend you to consider other oils other than olive oil and avocado oil. Um, Even for cooking, please use some other oil for cooking, but olive oil and avocado oil. Use ghee for cooking. That is the best thing. Thank you. Yes, I'll be sharing the recording. Could you share some sources for Bologna butter ghee? Priya, I sell Bologna ghee. I can guarantee you the guarantee, but I don't know other sources.
Thanks, Mamatha. That's good enough. I just checked on your website. I couldn't. I'll connect with you and try to.
Yeah, please
Yeah.
connect me. My
Sure.
phone number is, I'm going to put my phone number
Sure.
here, 4048499446. I also hold monthly info sessions by different Ayurveda experts, all for free. So if you write it to me, if you send me a text, I forgot to
Mhm.
put my WhatsApp group number, group link,
Sure.
but if you text me, I will put it. And if you're interested, you can join, where we discuss all healthy habits. Is it true
Awesome. Thank you.
that and idli uses good bacteria after heating, but it still has metabolites produced by um, the fermentation? You mentioned panchakarma. Please share information about panchakarma. Yes, I in my WhatsApp group I shared on a daily basis the 7 days of panchakarma treatment I got. If you text me to that number for that I had just put, I I can share the panchakarma details.
Can
Thank
you give
you.
your website again? Is www.mahadeva?
No, maadhev.com. Can you see it?
MAHDV. Yeah.
Yeah, EHEV. If you click on the chat, it will
Okay.
take the link. And my phone number is 408-499-4696.
408-499.
4696.
4696. Okay, great.
Yeah, most of the butter sold in America are not pasteurized. How to know the pasteurized butter on the package? Are you saying pasteurized or are you talking about Bologna, fermented, Anjali?
Oh, fermented, I think. Whatever you recommended.
Oh, fermented. So almost 99.9% of the butter made in America is not fermented because the fermented butter only stays fresh for a week. Then after that, it spoils. That's why in India, they make fresh butter all the time. What are Asian wheat varieties? Can you give examples? So it's like what we call as Jave, Godi, Emmer, and Kapli. But just in the last month, I discovered that there is a big difference between emmer wheat grown in America and emmer wheat grown in India. So if I were you, I would get if you join my group, you will see people are saying my dog, which never eats chapatis made from the flour here, ate the chapati made from your wheat flour. I don't have it on the website yet because we have to get permission to sell wheat flour in America. So we are working on it. So what we call as Javego, the other wheat varieties in India, if you ask your mom or grandmother, they will be able to tell you. But the same wheat here in America is not really as good.
Great presentation. Thank you for sharing all this great information. I want to know more about the Panchkarma that you did. Can you just share the name of that, please?
Yes, sure. I will share the name. And yeah, I have worked with the institute to make it even special for the Indian Americans, where I've asked them to use the ultra cold pressed oils for massages, not the regular oils, and where I've asked them to use the A2 milk for Shirodhara and not the regular dairy milk. And they have making a special package. So please join my group because next week I'm going to announce all the things about Panchakarma. These days I'm finding it very difficult to do one-on-one. So if you join my group, you'll get all the information.
How do we join your group? How do we join your group?
Yeah, I was supposed to have the link.
Yeah.
Do you mind giving me just 1 second? I'll grab the link and put it in the group. I'm not good in marketing. You can see I don't have all my. Okay, I'm putting it in the Zoom chat. If you click on that, you will join my WhatsApp group. Do you see the link?
Can you please put this information with the WhatsApp group in through the Shri Yoga?
Yeah, sure.
Because
I will pass
once
that.
we get out of this meeting, we don't have access to the chat.
Yeah. Can you just click now? If you just click now with the phone, it will go.
Oh, I'm on my iPad, so I.
Oh, you don't have WhatsApp on your iPad? Yeah, if you don't have WhatsApp on your equipment, then I will also pass it to Sabnis Kaka. And yeah, I'll also pass it to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you have WhatsApp, then you can just click on that. Is there a yoga group? And this is the Shri Yoga group that I'm referring to.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, there is a yoga group. You can join the Shri Yoga and they have some wonderful programs, all free, just like how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
And also, Mamta, will you please send this link on Sri Suvoka Millet Group so I can join it from there as well?
It's not a group that I recommend, so I usually don't.
Because I joined this meeting, this Zoom meeting by clicking on that. Somebody posted.
So what information do you want? So why do you mind texting me and I can give you?
Sure, I will text you.
Mamatha, I had a question.
Can be done on our own.
Yeah, please. Yeah, only if you have questions or if you're interested in the other questions, stay back. Otherwise, okay. Please go ahead, Kalpana.
Yeah. Hi, Mamatha. Thank you so much again. And you're right, you're not good at marketing. You never say, you only share such good information, but you don't tell. So I'm glad you're doing this again today for everybody. So two questions, I think I got one clarification. When you said the ratio omega-3 and 6, is this something meaning you consume twice omega-6 compared to 3 when you said 2:4?
Yes, that's what you should supposed to do. It's better to go get your omega-6 and omega-3 checked. I would recommend to do it right away if you haven't done in the past. Most of the Indians will get low omega-3, low omega-6 below the normal level. And that could be causing many of the health problems we have.
Okay, because that is some test my doctor did not know, but I think maybe I did not share it correctly. So
Yeah,
second thing,
not that they don't know. They usually, because of so many other insurance things and all that, they don't cover it in the annual
I
checkup.
see.
But if you ask them, they will always prescribe.
Okay. So it's only omega 3 and 6, not the 9 when
Yeah,
you ask.
get the other vitamins done too, like K2, B12, and then you can adjust your diet accordingly. Especially if you're seeing some symptoms, health problems,
Uh-huh.
please ask doctor to prescribe this.
And you shared about the oils in the nostril and belly. Is there any of these oils, or there were specific oils that you were referring to?
Well, sorry, which one? I didn't catch your question.
You shared the uses for oil in the nostril. I don't know the word you use,
Nostril,
but
nostril, you can use sesame oil for nasya. You can use sesame oil, you can use coconut oil. See, I have a vata and pitta body. So if I use sesame oil, I can right away feel that my head is like feeling not as great, right? So if I use coconut oil, it suits my body really well.
I
So it is always good to consult a Ayurveda doctor and understand your prakriti, whether you're vata, pitta, or kapha,
okay.
and they will recommend a few oils for you. Then you can narrow it down based on your experience with the oil.
Okay. So
But
same is for the
they're good in narrowing down the oils for you. Which are the cooling oils? Which are the heating oils? They're really good Ayurveda doctors in understanding your body type.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's same true for belly button also, right? You
Yeah, the
said
same. Usually, if you need a cooling oil, that's the cooling oil that suits your body.
okay. Also, you mentioned actually you never used for the years, but I have used, and I think that does marvelous. So when you
Yeah.
warm the oil, yes, it does. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but yes, I want to let people know it is especially when little infants have ear infection, it really does miracles. But then again,
Oh,
you
so
feel
good
good
to
for
know.
you.
So good to know, Kalpana. Maybe you can show us one day how to do it.
Sure, sure.
Yeah. Thank you
Also,
so much for sharing that.
no, I didn't want to interrupt, but I do want to. It has worked, and there was no need of antibiotics even for ear infection if you are using that oil. But it has to be very good quality oil, and it
Yes,
has
it
to be.
has to be very good quality oil. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
And
Thanks for sharing that, because nowadays throat and ear infections are so much. And I would like to share that though I didn't take oils previously, but I haven't had throat infection for like 20 years, I think, or cough for that matter. I had I did get COVID once, but very mild form, when I had little bit of cough, and I had cough for a long time. It wasn't severe, but it was going on for like 3 4 months, and then I came back and started drinking oil, and it just went away. And then it was an observation. So most people make the observation after they use the oil for dry eyes, watery eyes, for all those things. Oil pulling and nasya work really well. So just try it, because it takes just few minutes and the health benefits are enormous. And they're all preventative care.
so
And
I'm not sure, but I will. Thank you.
yeah, please try that. And
And
even for hair fall, people are coming and telling me the oil pulling is helping with the hair fall. So what is oil pulling? Yes, I can explain what oil pulling is. So you
okay,
take,
but
yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, did you have any more questions, Kalpana?
Just one last. You mentioned about charcoal, and I wanted to know, do we have to rinse after we brush? Because I purchased it from your place, but I don't know how to use it. So you just brush it and you leave it on in your mouth, and in the morning you gargle and you drink the water.
No, no, no. I gargle for a few minutes and I spit it out, and then I brush, then I spit it out, and then in the morning, yeah. The instructions are all on the powder if you buy the powder packet.
Okay, I did buy it, but I didn't understand maybe. So
Yeah,
let me
back there are
send this.
instructions. So you put
So
the
please,
1/4 teaspoon of charcoal tooth powder, you gargle it for a few minutes, 2 3 minutes, and you spit it out. And then you take a brush and brush it like regular brushing without any chemical paste. And that's it. And you rinse your mouth. That's it.
okay. I thought we don't rinse it. So right now I was using only my finger, but I never used a brush, like
You
how
can
in
use
India.
your fingers to brush. Yeah.
Okay, but you basically you just gargle a little bit. You don't leave it in your you spit it out
Yes.
at night, and in the morning you can just gargle again, spit it out, and then
Drink
drink
the water.
water.
And drink the water. Yeah, don't spit it out.
No, but in the morning you still gargle and or you no, you spit, you drink the water in the
Yeah, you
morning.
gargle and drink the water.
Okay, okay, that's all. Maybe one last, but I think you may have answered. You said about soaking everything, the millets, all of these. But we after soaking, when the water remains, do we trash that water for dals or even millets, or we use the
So for
water?
millets, I don't trash the water. I rinse the millets clean before soaking them, and I soak them and I use the water. But for
Okay,
lentils, because they have that foamy thing, so I throw the water for
okay,
lentils, pulses. Yeah.
okay. Thank you, Mamta. I'm done. Thank you.
And Sadhana, if you're still here, I can explain oil pulling if there is interest. So oil pulling is you just take a teaspoon of uh, half a spoon or 1 teaspoon of oil, like coconut oil, sesame oil. Some people say they have done it with other oils also, and keep gargling for up to 4 to 5 minutes. It helps with mineralization of the teeth enamel, avoids cavities, helps with your hair fall, can help with any facial problem you have, like dry eyes, watery eyes. Yeah, there are a lot of benefits. But if there is more than one oil that suits your body, try rotating them. Do every month a different oil, because different oils have different nutrients, and each um, nutrition profile can help you in different ways. So the two oils that I use are coconut oil in summer and sesame oil in winter. But you can use safflower oil, does wonders to my skin. I drink 1 spoon of safflower oil in my. So I rotate between 4 different oils for drinking. One is sesame, one is safflower, one is Niger, one is flaxseed. Actually, I do 5 oils. Sorry. One is sesame, flaxseed, Niger, sesame, and safflower. These are the 5 oils I drink, and it has done wonders to my skin. If you had seen my skin before, you would know how much better it is.
Thank you
Any
so much,
questions?
Mamta.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions before I thank you
Yeah,
all?
I have a question, Mamta.
Yeah.
How often is oil pulling done?
Once a day. When
Once
you,
a day.
yeah. Or
Wow. Okay.
even if you want, if you don't have the time, if you do 2 to 3 times a week, it's still good.
Beneficial. Okay.
But
Thank you. And you
you're
drink that oil basically.
no, I spit out the oil.
Oil.
Only
Okay.
for oil drinking, I just drink a spoonful of oil. But when
Okay.
I'm doing oil pulling, I gargle the mouth and
Mm-hmm.
spit it out.
Okay. 5 minutes, you said.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I have one question, Mamta.
Yeah.
That can we do the oil pulling early in the morning when we wake up?
Yes, you can.
And then
But
after that one,
give half an hour time gap before you do anything else.
okay. So after that one, do we need to brush the teeth or no?
Not necessary. Not just because you've done oil pulling, you don't have to brush,
Okay, got it.
because it's the oil that's sitting with a lot of minerals that's mineralizing your uh, gum, and replenishing your gum, the gum growth, the gum health, and then enamel buildup on your teeth.
Mm-hmm. So once we spit the oil after the oil pulling, then definitely some of the oil will be staying inside that. Can we
Yeah.
swallow that
Yeah.
or we have to keep
No,
spitting?
no, it's okay. It can just stay there. It will just go away. It doesn't stay.
Okay.
But if you're doing it at night, then definitely you brush your teeth before sleeping, right? So,
Okay, got it. Thank you.
welcome.
So you're
Okay.
saying if you do at night, we should brush our teeth for oil pulling? We don't leave
Yeah,
it?
I mean, the last thing you do before going to sleep is brush.
Okay. So then it's better to do in the morning because it leaves it.
I mean,
Is it
if you give half an hour gap, most of the things would have absorbed by then.
okay?
Okay, thank you so much again for attending the session. And it was my pleasure to share the knowledge that I have gained in the last 2 years with all of you. And feel free please do a check on Perplexity or anywhere else for what I have said. Thank you again. Bye.
Thank you, Mamatha.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.